Good morning, boys and girls. Please pull out your page from yesterday, page 228. Remember, I asked you to finish that on your own. I hope that you did. We are going to check them this morning. There are a couple that are kind of tricky. Most of them are pretty easy, but I want to see if you got the tricky ones. Let's look at number 6. Did you write 7:30? 7:30. You can see that the hour hand is just past the 7 on its way to the 8. So the hour is 7 and the minute hand is pointing down at the 6, which means it is 7:30. Good job. Let's look at number 7. 10. Our hour hand is just past the 10 and our minute hand is on the 2. That does not mean that it's 10:02. Let's start at our 12, at our 12 o'clock and count by 5s. 5, 10. Remember from yesterday, when the minute hand is at the 2, it means 10 minutes past. We have to count those little minute lines. 10, 10. Next one, super easy. 4 o'clock. Good job. Now, this one is a little bit tricky. It's actually 4:55. And the reason it's so tricky is because, I'll find my little cursor there. Can you see that the hour hand is not quite to the 5 yet? It is just past the 4. And how many minutes past the 4 is it? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. It is 55 minutes past 4. Another way to say that, though, is 5 minutes to 5 o'clock, and that's why, I'll erase that right there, that is why the hour hand looks like it's almost touching the 5, because there's only 5 more minutes before it's going to be 5 o'clock. So those are kind of tricky. Even moms and dads make those mistakes. Let's look at number 10. The hour hand is just past the 9. The minute hand is on the 6. It is 9:30. Number 11, the hour hand is just past the 10. The minute hand is on the 3, which means it is 5, 10, 15, 10, 15. Here's another tricky one. It is 4:45, not 5:45. If you look really close, that hour hand is not at the 5 yet. It is just past the 4. And if we count by 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. It is 4:45, which also means that it is only 15 minutes until it's going to be 5 o'clock. And that's why the hour hand is so close to the 5. Let's look at the last one. The hour hand is about halfway past the 1. It's not to the 2 yet. And the minute hand is at the 8 if we count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. It is 1:40 or 40 minutes past 1 o'clock. I hope that that was good practice for you guys, also counting by 5s. And I hope you got those tricky ones, number 9 and number 12. If you had problems with those, maybe check with mom and dad and see if they can help you practice those a little bit more. Let's move on to our next page. It is page 200 and what is it? I can't even hardly see. 229. Okay, we are going to do the front and the back of this page today. We're going to do some of it together and then some of it you're going to do on your own. and we'll check it tomorrow. All right, let's begin. Number 14, it says show times to the 5 minutes. This time it's going to give us the time on the digital clock, and we have to draw it up here on the analog clock. Now my drawing is going to be a little bit squiggly because I'm doing it with my mouse, but I will do the best I can. Draw hands on each clock to show the time. We are always going to start with the hour, and the hour for this one is 10. So we are going to draw our hour hand, which is the short one, up to the 10. But before we draw it, we need to see how many minutes past 10 it is. Because if it's more than halfway past 10, that means we don't want the hour hand pointing to the 10. We want it halfway between the 10 and the 11. Does that make sense? So I think actually maybe this time we'll start with the minutes. Okay, and it's 35 minutes past 10. Let's count by fives to find out where our minute hand is going to go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Our minute hand is going to be pointing at the 7 because that is 35 minutes past the hour. Okay, now is that more than halfway around the clock? It is, isn't it? So that means that our hour hand is going to be about halfway between the 10 and the 11. Okay, so we're going to draw it. And remember, the hour hand is shorter. We want it pointing about halfway between the 10 and the 11. 10:35. Okay, the next one says 9:20. It's going to be 20 minutes past 9 o'clock. So let's start counting by fives. Remember that we start at the 1 when we're counting by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20. That means our minute hand is going to be pointing at the 4. That's 20 minutes past. And let's see, is it halfway past the hour yet? Not quite. So our hour hand is going to be still pointing pretty close to the 9. Okay, I made a mess of that one. It's on its way to the 10, but it's still pretty close to the 9. So we're going to put it right there. Okay, our next one is 2:25. Our hour is 2. It is 25 minutes past the hour. Let's count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Where's our minute hand going to be? On the 5. Good. That means it's 25 minutes past. 25 minutes past what? 2. It's not quite halfway around the clock, but it's pretty close, right? So I'm going to put it between the 2 and the 3. It is after 2. It is on its way to the 3. 2:25. Okay, and the last one we're going to do together is 4:50. Now, these are the tricky ones because 4:50 means it's going to almost be 5 o'clock. So let's count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Our minute hand is going to be pointing at the 10. Now, where's our hour hand going to be pointing? It's going to look like it's at the 5 almost. It's going to be like right there. Okay, because it's so close to 5 o'clock. All right, boys and girls, I want you to finish the next 8 clocks on your own after we're done with the back of this page. And then if you'll keep it in a safe place, we'll check it tomorrow together. Let's turn over to the back. Oh, Puzzle Penguin. I should have brought him to Arkansas with me. I left him at my house in Utah. Puzzle Penguin, he's so confused. He always makes mistakes. And do you know what he made a mistake on? He made a mistake on a clock that has one of those times. Look at that. 55 minutes past the hour. I'll bet you already know the mistake he made. Let's count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. Is his minute hand in the right place? It is. It is 55 minutes past the hour. But if it's 55 minutes past 5 o'clock, look, that hour hand isn't even touching the 5. That means it's only 5 more minutes until the hour changes to 6 o'clock. So our hour hand should be almost right at the 6. If it's only 5 minutes till it's going to be 6 o'clock, our hour hand should be pointing really close to the 6 at this point. So that's where Puzzle Penguin made his mistake. If you were to look at this clock the way it was before I drew all over it, let's get rid of those things. What time does the clock say right now? 4. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. The hour is 4. And how many minutes past 4 is it? 55. He was right on the minutes. He just got the hour wrong. This says 4:55. All right, boys and girls, we're going to talk a little bit about AM and PM. If you remember from a couple of days ago, AM means what? Usually it means the morning time, right? It's from midnight till noon. So things that happen before lunch. PM is usually the evening. It's afternoon and nighttime. It's things that happen from noon, from lunchtime, all the way till midnight at night. For each activity, ring the appropriate time. Ring just means you're going to draw a circle around it. We're going to do the first 4 together, and then you are going to do the last 4 on your own, and we will check them tomorrow. What time would you go on a picnic? Would you go at 5:30 a.m., at 5:30 in the morning, or 5:30 p.m., 5:30 in the afternoon? You're right. It would be 5:30 p.m. And what about school recess? Would you have school recess at 10 o'clock a.m., 10 o'clock in the morning? Or would you have it at 10 o'clock p.m., 10 o'clock at night when you're already in bed? That's crazy, right? We would have recess, even though we only have morning recess on Wednesdays, we would have it at 10 a.m. Boys and girls, I would keep going, but we are out of time. My video is going to run out in 1 minute. So I want you to finish the last 6 questions on your own, and we will check them together tomorrow. Thanks for joining me today, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye.